different scenario. You see a lot of people going and coming that could or could not be supposed to be there. It's also confusing because that's where
safe. I mean, so far they've done a good job.
And we've seen that sign in Hollywood as those
Sorry, I don't know why I'm not getting any sound out of it, but
the red
that's
sign
kind
that
of a
they're holding
bummer.
in the front of the line say their names, no doubt referring to different people.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm not getting
Armand Arbery, Christian Cooper, so many different cases in the last few months. I'm sure those pictures depict many of them.
You just did, Ellen. Say their names.
There's so many more.
Yeah. So they are on the go, and we're happy to report that so far it has been a peaceful protest. They're accomplishing their goal. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of problems with this group going through Hollywood, outside of the inconvenience of traffic, of course. But no violence whatsoever. They stop and make their point. They're holding their signs, and they're on the go. Where they're headed, we're not sure. But
we're going to check in with Philip Palmer, though, right now, because he is still in Van Nuys. And Philip, any developments there?
Yeah, just a couple, Ellen and David. Here's the thing. Right over there is where the protest was that you guys watched a few moments ago, and we're just hearing police. I've double-checked with a couple of different officers. They're telling everybody to start going home now. So they gave them until 5 to protest. We did overhear that conversation with authorities when they were talking with one of the protesters, and he said, okay, we got 45 minutes, let's make the most of it. And they did. They went over there, they had the protest, which you saw. There was chanting. There was actually a moment of silence as well. It's been very peaceful. At this location where the organizers are gathering people, there were problems down the street with looting, but not associated with this. So now everybody's being told to start and disperse. They're trying to get them out of the streets and get them to going on their way. So we'll stay here and we'll let you know what happens over the next little bit.
Yeah, this is when it gets a little bit tricky when people are
Yeah, I
told to
hope
go
you're
home.
doing fine, Joanne.
Place,
good to see you, man.
But we'll watch that closely. And Philip, you're there on the ground, and Chris Christie has been over the air as well watching the situation.
Also, Chris has been en route and in that pursuit that they believe that were possible looters that were making a run for it after attacking a drugstore. They also had a mobile store there and a marijuana dispensary in Van Nuys.
There's Chris Christie right now. Chris, you pulled off the pursuit, or you're still on it?
Sorry about that, David. So LAPD lost it, and we happened to lose it as well. Basically, what's going on here is the type of driving that we were seeing just became too dangerous. And at the end of the day, what are they able to do with him in this case? Is it worth the risk to public safety when he's going to be processed with no bail, not face any jail time, and just be released with a citation? It just doesn't make sense, and so they decided to give it up altogether. Right? Now they're tracking other suspicious individuals who are mixed in with protesters who are moving up and down Van Nuys Boulevard.
Crazy.
Some of them are peaceful, but others of them are armed with weapons. We're talking about hammers, we're talking about crowbars, and right now they're looking for somebody armed with a knife in the middle of the crowd. We were on the other corner that you're looking at right here, the northeast corner, and somebody randomly took a bottle of water and poured it on a bunch of protesters. These are agitators who are trying to get these crowds riled up and looking to just basically distract the police. That's the name of the game. You distract the police, and then they go on their crime spree. It's a trend we've been seeing, and the pattern is
yeah,
not really
they robbed a marijuana store.
This is Mark Brown, by the way, along with Colleen Sullivan, getting ready for
a
Eyewitness News at 5. When you talk about that pattern, trying to distract the police, trying to rile up the protesters,
a bunch of
there's a
stores
saying,
were on, but this time the
it's an
cops
old
were chasing
saying,
them.
don't
They
fall
weren't
for the
letting them
okie
get
doke.
away.
And if they don't, then it'll be all right. But
the sound's
you'll have
coming
to
through
see whether
okay,
that
Joanne?
takes place
You
as
can hear
we're
my
watching
voice and
these
everything?
large groups and looters that are taking the looting that is taking place. This is Eyewitness News at 5 and our continuing coverage of the protests against police violence and the occasional lawlessness that has erupted that has caused a lot of damage in a lot of communities in Southern California. Chris, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, we're just keeping an eye on this group right here.
I got a new laptop,
again, LAPD has been pretty patient most of the day. We saw LAPD, one of the commanders actually talking to an organizer, allowing them to protest a while ago, but the crowd has really dispersed into different intersections and different corners. This happens to be Victory and Van Nuys Boulevard. All of this started earlier today around noon over at the Van Nuys Civic Center, where a crowd of 100 protesters grew to about 2, maybe closer to 300 at one point. The crowd grew throughout the day, and as we went on the air at around 3 o'clock, things started to go sideways. There were agitators who were starting to vandalize property and then branched off and started looting businesses up and down Van Nuys Boulevard. A large gang of looters formed, and they started going business to business. We saw a pharmacy being looted. We saw dozens of looters jumping out of a Boost mobile phone store, and then we saw another medical marijuana shop being looted as well. One of the people inside that shop actually chased out the looters with a fire extinguisher, and we've seen those looters basically scatter across the neighborhood here in this part of Van Nuys. LAPD doing their level best to try and keep up and take any looters that they can into custody. And just you saw on our air a few minutes ago, they actually caught up with the original group that looted that pharmacy and chased them in a black Charger through the streets of Van Nuys, and eventually lost them. They just decided to give it up. Decided it wasn't worth it. The way he was driving, Mark, I'm not sure if you saw it, but he was doing ridiculous speeds through the streets of Van Nuys.
But
we are about an hour away from curfew in the city of Los Angeles. So within an hour, there will be more tools available for the police to try to restore order and keep the looters from doing what they're doing, keep the vandals from doing what they are doing. The protesters who are there to protest police violence against African Americans are going to have to make a decision at 6 o'clock whether they continue to protest and demonstrate or whether they observe the curfew and prepare for tomorrow to begin anew.
Absolutely. Well, we are continuing our live team coverage. Let's go to Rob Hayes. Rob, you're live with more on the situation in your position right there.
Yeah, that's right. We're in Hollywood at Sunset and Vine. You can see a good-sized protest here right in front of the Chase Bank. It's a Black Lives Matter organization has put this together. This has been a totally peaceful gathering right now.
Can you hear me okay now? Does it sound better?
And what you'll notice they'll do, like a lot of times when they get the light, the walk signal, they'll come out into the street, they'll kneel down, and it looks like they're blocking traffic, but as soon as the light changes, they move back to the crowd. So they're letting traffic go.
How's that? Is that better?
I would say courteous to all the people driving by. And you'll hear the horns honking here. It's a lot of support for the group that's out.
Is that better?
And one interesting thing we should point out, Jamie, if you just scan right to left there, you won't see any LAPD officers in sight. You will see, however, some National Guardsmen, like right across the street here. They're just standing. They're not interacting with any of the protesters. They're just standing by. And it's been a very
This is just really sad. It's sad.
Successful protest so far.
You know, and I'm going to say just out there I'm not going to stream for very long, but I want to say this if anybody, I think that man was murdered, okay? George Floyd was murdered. No doubt about it. And all four of those officers should be held liable for his death, man. I mean, no doubt about it. They killed that man. And I understand people's anger, but destroying shit, I ain't going to solve nothing, man. Now, see, that's cool, man, to see that. The cop even dropping a knee, that's cool to see that, man. That's cool. I know, this is just crazy, man. That's what people need to see more of, man. More cops like that, you know. Yeah, that's cool to see that.
So that others might also survive. Absolutely, and we heard earlier today in a press conference with LA Chief Michael Moore saying these are complex issues
Yeah, I mean, it was bad here, even in my little town. I live just south of Seattle, and a little bit south of Seattle, and our town even rioted. You know, I don't know how bad, because I was more tuned in what was going on up in Seattle. But man, they destroyed downtown Seattle here. I mean, the anarchists. It's just it's sad. It's sad.
More deputies getting out just across the street there on the corner, and a few other deputies further down the street there. That's the Center Street Promenade, where businesses closed because they think
yeah, there's a lot of good cops out there, but you know there is a lot of bad cops too, man. You know, seriously, I've had incidents with them myself where things could have went bad really easy. They're just they need a little more training, I think. They got a tough job. I mean, I understand that, but it's a job they accept, you know, and you got to learn to deal with that. If you can't, you shouldn't be doing it. Oh wow, there was, huh? Albany, Jesus.
Now back out here live here at City Hall outside, we see the protesters here, and if we pan over to City Hall, the entrance.
I'll tell you what, if these cops do get acquitted, God forbid that happens. Oh boy, you think this is bad? This ain't gonna be nothing in comparison to what's gonna happen if any one of those 4 cops get off.
For now, we're live in Anaheim. Tony Cabrera, ABC7 on ABC. All right, Tony, thank you. We're going to go back to Hollywood now, and our entertainment reporter Carl Simon is out there, and he's here to tell us what we're looking at.
I mean,
Carl, where are you?
this will be a flea bite in comparison to what will happen if those cops aren't held accountable.
This protest, since it really began a couple of hours ago, and I have to tell you, it's been extremely peaceful. As you heard earlier, they are taking their knee when they get to a red light. When the light turns green, they're getting back up and moving. There's very little police presence right here on Sunset at the moment. And certainly, if I go up there, you'll see quite a generous-sized crowd. But so far, you know, apart from the odd bit of profanity, it's been extremely peaceful. I see just ahead, if I flip the camera, trying to focus for you. I'm not sure how well I can do it by moving. Not so great, but
this is crazy. I mean, it's good to see people having their voice, because things got to change, man. I mean, it's got to change all the way from the top. Trump's got to go, man. And Trump is not making this any better by becoming militant, you know, or even talking the way he is. You know, he should be out there calming people down, not stoking the fire like he's doing in a way, you know, because I've never even seen it like that in Washington, D.C. since the 60s, 70s. So that's crazy. He's stoking a bad fire, man.
No, as I said, there was a slight scuffle earlier back up in Hollywood and Highland. There was a gentleman trying to get through the police.
Yes, ma'am, Joanne. I agree totally. You know, I mean, think for a second what will happen, eh? If they freaking that cop say they arrest it, and he goes to court, and then they get a super slap on the wrist, or a light sentence, or even acquitted. Oh, damn! This country will tear itself apart. And I know a lot of people, or some people out there watching, might be offended that I say something about Trump, but believe me, I've been around since the 60s, and Trump is the worst president I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. You're right, Joanne. He's a complete idiot, man. He really is. pardon my way of saying it, but I call him an orange anal ass clown. That's kind of the way I look at it. I can't believe people vote for him or even think he's doing something good for our country. I don't understand.
We're seeing protests popping up on freeways too. This was the scene on the 405 freeway a short time ago.
But hey, I see that 4 people are watching. Hey, thanks for coming in. I was just trying to catch these looters that they were chasing. They were chasing this black Dodge Charger loaded up with these looters that robbed a marijuana dispensary and then a pharmacy that was right next door to it. So the cops were chasing it. And so I thought that would be kind of a little change of direction.
We're taking a look at several hundred protesters. I would say this group much larger actually than the one that we've been following in Van Nuys. And once again, as you mentioned, extremely peaceful. This one started near the 101 over on Hollywood Boulevard. Now we're traveling eastbound on
I actually saw a picture my grandmother showed me of where my mother allegedly was marching next about 4 shoulders down from Martin Luther King and pushing me in a stroller. So I guess I've been an advocate all my life, but or an activist, but this is crazy. I've protested it a lot. I got personally maced at the WTO protests in Seattle. The cops walked right up to me in a wheelchair, no less, and freaking maced me point blank. I mean, I went from wearing regular clothes to colored orange because they had sprayed me so hard in the mace or whatever the hell it was called. I thought I was going to die.
But it does, for the most part, seem we've been following these protests for the last several days, and you've certainly seen many other protests not.
I've always believed in civil rights. I'm not a radical liberalist or anything, but I do believe that we all bleed the same, right? And we all should be treated the same. I don't give a shit what color you are, where you came from. We're human beings, man. We live on the same tiny blue dot in the middle of freaking a very big universe, and that's just the way it is, man. And we gotta get rid of this gender biased, racial barrier system that we have and learn that we're all people that live on this beautiful blue dot, and we should learn to live together, man, as like one. And I think we could be a lot more successful than with borders and racial divide and political bullshit. We're people, for Christ's sakes.
You see some cars that are surrounded by protesters. During the course of these protests, we've seen.
Sorry, man. See, I drove everybody off now because I just fucking started preaching. It just kind of bones me, man.
But it just takes somebody to lose their patience, and you don't want to see that. That's what we really are worried about when we see cars interacting with so many pedestrians. Just want to see those cars stay still, stay calm, let the protesters pass, and then move through the intersection. Everybody here appears to be very tolerant and very patient with what's going on here.
Well, this is indicative of not only the purpose of this, which is to protest and demonstrate against the deaths.
Hey, I don't care if anybody thumbs ups or thumbs down. I just threw this up because I wanted to share that police pursuit. I'm not really into the. So if you want to do that, that's fine. I'm cool. If you don't, I'm cool. I don't care. I just wanted to share some news with people. That was all.
I think I said a few hundred. I think you're probably much closer, probably between 1,000 and 2,000, probably in the 1,500 range. I mean, at one point a minute ago, as they were condensed, it really looked like almost an entire block was packed with
Yeah, I
people.
agree, Joanne.
Unfortunately,
I agree with you, man. Racism is learned. You're true. True that. It really is.
The last 3 months, it's a little jarring to see 1,500 people packed like sardines in any place, any given place. So there is that to worry about. But in the meantime,
It's just
a lot of
something.
people wearing masks
I don't know.
and continuing their peaceful march up Sunset.
I'm not, I'm not perfect either. I just think people should be treated the same, with the same respect. And George Floyd, he wasn't treated with that respect. He wasn't. I have never actually cried in a video, watching a video before. But I'm gonna tell you truthfully, it teared me up to watch that man. I almost wanted to, if I would have been there, even in my wheelchair, I would have rolled out at that cop. I would have done everything I could have to try to say, even if they didn't, I would have tried to interfere. Even if it would have meant going to jail, I would have done something. Even as a bystander, I'd have knocked the fucking cop out of the way if I had to. That man was murdered. Plain simple.
That they feel like they got their message across. They were able to, have one-on-one time with the LAPD. And Sunset here is completely shut down. So at least from, I believe, Hayworth Avenue, beyond Crescent Heights Boulevard a little bit there. So this whole area doesn't have any cars. All of the businesses are boarded up. Right there, you're looking at the iconic Laugh Factory.
So I hope your mom's doing well, Joanne. Tell her hi for me. By all means. I hope you guys are safe and everything.
When we've seen these protests kind of devolve very quickly, I don't see that happening here at this moment.
I gotta go see the doctor tomorrow because I guess I've got to have a COVID test because I thought I might be getting like a UTI or something, and so but they said the symptoms are so close now they want me to take a COVID test, so I guess I got to drive out tomorrow and see if I can get one.
Well, right now, these people are peacefully sitting in the intersection.
Joanne, you're absolutely right. Because that cop, it was so brutal because the police officer kept going, well, get up, get in the car, get up, get in the car. And he just, God, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
Many of the protesters have wanted him to go away. You see that people have decided they want to stay here. My assumption is before long there will be arrests, maybe peaceful arrests just as a show of support for the protest. But they're not, well, let's just see what happens.
I know. That's what I'm actually glad to get a COVID test. I want to get that out of the way so I know I ain't got it, so I can say, hey, I'm cool now.
So they're here, and down the street now you've got a lot of people here on Van Nuys Boulevard that are being affected by some of the protesters. Many of the protesters have left. Most of the protesters that were organizing have gone, but now you've got these folks who are here in the middle, maybe 2 dozen people, tops. So we'll see how this develops. But right now, they're just peacefully sitting in the streets. Their form of
Oh, really,
protest,
John? I'm
it doesn't
serious,
look
man.
like they're
I
ready
would
to
have
go
knocked
away
them
right
down or interfered. I mean, I certainly would not have stood there idly by and just filmed it. I couldn't do that. I mean, obviously, kudos to the people that did, or otherwise we would have never known about it. But I still, man, I couldn't have just stood there like that. I would have had to rush them or tried to get them to. All I would have had to done was rush them, and they would have jumped off of him and could have saved him. Hell with it. So you would go to jail for the night. Big deal. You saved a man's life.
Well, but you got to remember what this is about and why these protests are springing up across the country.
Oh, I agree. I can't unsee it either. That's very true. Well put.
Places like that.
That's very true. I don't need to watch the video over and over again. It's something I'll remember to the day I die. I swear to God, I've never seen anything like it.
Over the years, in particular, this last month, the Ahmaud Arbery shooting that was revealed last month, but it actually happened back in February. police investigators basically sat on the video until it was released to the public, and that's when finally an investigation and arrest took place. Two men are accused now of this murder. Breonna Taylor.
But like I said, I'll repeat it, like I said a few minutes ago, knowing all of that, and that intensity that we feel from that video, if they are not held fully accountable for this crime, these riots will be a flea bite in comparison to what will happen. I can guarantee you that.
So it's demonstrations against unequal treatment of people of color by police around the country, and so many police officers have echoed what the demonstrators are saying.
Absolutely. We are going to switch gears here. We're going to go to Mary Eric, our setting now.
We all saw a man's life snuffed out. The promise of his life and the purpose of America that day was met with something fundamental in America, inhumane, and that cries out for justice. This morning, George Floyd's brother came before us at the site to speak to America. Passionate, pained, powerful, prayerful. He spoke to us about what happened to his brother. Terrence Floyd said that no one's grief could match his. How blowing things up and acting out won't solve anything. Won't move the needle in the direction of justice, and certainly won't bring his brother back. And his message echoes for all of us, and to anyone who might hijack this moment and this movement to their own destructive ends. As he put it, let's do this another way. Let's stop thinking that our
What do you
voices
think,
don't
Joanne?
matter, and
I
vote.
mean,
Educate yourself.
how do you feel? What do you think will happen? I mean,
That
you've heard my opinion. What's your opinion on all of this? I mean,
I spoke
I
yesterday
know you feel
about the
bad and
common
everything
ground
and all that, but
we found in the midst
what do you think
of our
will happen?
The common ground that African Americans in this country share because of the devastating legacy of slavery and racism, but that every American must own and feel, and I believe we did and do. The good police officers, together with the good people, those who spoke out in a way I had never seen in the history of this country unequivocally, to call it murder, to say that it was wrong. And
Yes,
demand not
ma'am.
just
I agree
justice
with that
for George
totally.
Floyd and his family, but for America in the days moving forward. The Floyd family knows the truth.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
cause of fairness, the drive for equality, the fight to end structural racism, the real reason so many are demonstrating right now on our streets. None of it is advanced by the violent acts. Like you,
Yes,
I've been
ma'am.
out
I
there
agree with that
and I see
100%.
with my eyes what is unseen
You
on
know,
our
going to
walks.
jail.
That those
Yeah,
of us
they
who cry
they
for justice
they got to.
have
Yeah.
gone out. And overwhelmingly and peacefully and painfully.
But I heard the autopsy report preliminary came out, and the doctor that did it, I actually know quite a bit about, and so I trust that guy's judgment a lot, even though he's had some controversy. But they said that he died of asphyxiation at the neck and at the back. So it wasn't just one officer that was blatantly responsible. It was however many it took to hold him down from the neck down. If there was 3 of them, then those guys should be all charged with direct homicide. The 4th guy and the other guy standing there, or the guy standing there, they should be charged with first-degree murder as well, but not the direct homicide murder. There are 2 different parts to it. But they said in the autopsy report that he was choked at the neck and at the back.
In our city and our county. It starts, I know it's a little confusing for some at different times in different parts of the county, but here in the city of Los Angeles, in conjunction with the countywide
Yeah, it's on my. I'm sorry. I smoke pot, so I mean I haven't got my new photos loaded up on my new device. I got a new laptop, so I haven't got a chance to change anything, and I just wanted to show that pursuit. I kind of did it fast, but sorry. I'm a pot smoker. I admit it.
It's done to protect protesters. It's done to protect families.
But it's legal here, though. See, so it's cool.
And you know what? Most of us fit into many of those categories. So please stay indoors.
Yes, ma'am. I got a nice little Dell Ultra laptop. Really sweet little thing. It's got fingerprint reader, all that stuff in it. Really nice computer. I got it about a week ago, and it's so I haven't loaded up all the photos in it. I'm still in the process of setting it all up and working the bugs out, getting used to it.
To promote the rights of immigrants, of women, of African Americans, to stand up for science and our environment, to do the things that do move our country forward. And if we didn't have those voices or lived in an unfree country, we could not have seen.
Want to hear something funny, man? I was watching the other night, I think it was yesterday, a city official, I forget where it was, but he was standing up there, right, talking like this guy, right? And he had this lady, I think it was a lady, but she had her head like down to stubble, right? And she was doing the sign language for the hearing impaired. And this lady looks like she's actually talking right here in sign. I can understand some of what she's saying because I know some sign. But this other lady I was watching almost looked like watching a mime. M-I-M-E, a mime. It was like this lady was really over doing it. It was actually, they must have caught it because they shrunk the screen away, but it was not good. Not good. Funny, actually, but.
And looting and destruction of ourselves happens, it sets us back forward. After the peaceful protests end, when looting and vandalism.
Yeah, that's what I got too, Joanne, is the Dell. I got the refurbished one, and I don't mind because it's Dell from Dell, and so it came with their full warranty. But it had everything I wanted. It has an i7 processor, 8th generation, the i7 8th generation, 512 gigabytes and it's got the solid state drive. So there's, it's just perfect. I couldn't have got a better deal, and it was like $650, I think, something like that. So pretty good deal. Oh, hi, Miss Lorianne. How are you doing, man? How you doing, sis? Good to see you. Hey, welcome into the room. I just noticed I looked over and seen you. Good to see you, man. Welcome to the chat. And Joanne, this is my good friend, or my sister, I call her sis, Lorianne White. Lori, this is my dear friend, Joanne. She's been a good friend of mine for a long time.
As we've shown in our fight against COVID-19, every life is sacred.
Yeah, good to see you, Miss Lori. Sis, I just put you moderator, so you're good to go. But nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Well, ma'am, I was they had a pursuit going where they were chasing looters in this Dodge Charger, black Dodge Charger. So I looked to see if anybody else was streaming it, and nobody else was. So I just jumped on it, but it took a second to set up, and so I kind of missed it. Oh, well. Many of the more than 100 of the 120 Yeah, my hair's a little messy. Otherwise, I would probably turn on my camera. I don't look so good today. So I got really long hair, Lori, and if it's not, you know how it is, man.
But I want to say that we are here to help.
Oh, no worries, Lori. You're always welcome. You're a very nice lady.
Some damaged buildings may need only to repair glass. Yellow ticket, and that means the city is prepared to go. And there will be no permits required for those repairs. Others, a much smaller number.
They did actually. They had helicopters following the Charger, Joanne, and they lost it. Yeah, my hair is really long, Lori. It goes down to like way down in the middle of my back, so it just I wouldn't look good to throw me on camera right now. It don't look too bad, but I don't know.
Our sanitation department will be providing roll-off dumpster services to help clear out the debris quickly. Many of you saw and thanked those workers that were out there the next morning downtown and prepared vaccines. Provide a seamless and
yeah, I hung out with the Wake last night for a long time, Lori. I ended up falling asleep a couple times watching her stream, man. She's so cool. I like her. All you guys are on that stream. You're all nice people.
Bring our economy back for our businesses, for our workers.
I know. I couldn't believe it either, Lori, that he ran that chopper. I mean, how? That's crazy. I think they just gave up, cops.
While many Angelinos wore masks this weekend, I encourage everybody going out to the protest, wear a mask, keep social distance, and please get a free COVID-19
Oh, that's Mayor Eric, Los Angeles Mayor.
Coronavirus.lac.org/testing is our site. And the city and county have now provided more than $500,000.
You know, I really, one of my favorite people up there, Lori, I like Tinfoil. She is so funny, and she's got the most darling little whisper. It is so cute when she does it. It just, a lot of times I just have to laugh, but Tinfoil is funny. She's so funny.
Other sites will remain closed because our testing operation is led and run by volunteers. Those volunteers have not yet signed up to come back and what's happening in the city. But thanks to the fire department and volunteers from our city staff, we will continue making sure.
I don't know if you saw that, Joanne, but that's the mayor of Los Angeles. I think Eric something. I didn't catch his name. That's who I guess it was.
And I know the worst things sometimes get on the news, but I saw beautiful images of engagement.
I know, she's got the most darling little whisper, you know. Oh, yeah.
Protesters, of folks who gave hugs to our National Guard.
Yeah, you gotta see her picture, Joanne. She's a little black cat with bug eyes, you know, kind of, and it's got a little tinfoil hat on it. It's so cute.
And with a badge, knows that what happened in Minneapolis is wrong, and is committed to not only pushing for justice there, but being part of a coalition of justice here.
Yeah, she's got a little kitty with a little tinfoil hat on. It's cute.
And stealing. We see you, and the police will arrest you. Those who are peacefully protesting, we see you and thank you. The city is stronger because of it. With that, let me turn it over to our Police Chief, Michael Moore, to give an update on what has happened here today. And then we'll hear from Chief Terrazas, and after that, we'll take some questions.
Well, this is kind of the boring part of this, but sorry about that. I was just trying to catch the police chase and stuff. But,
where we're at.
wow, look at that.
As for the safety of Los Angeles, last night
Disinfecting
we
the
saw
podium.
the
Wow.
impact of the curfew with our ability to police areas of downtown and basically, and also
Yeah, I
the west
pretty much
side,
did too,
but also
Lori.
rallied
I hung out
saw
until
roving
pretty much
groups
the
of
end. I don't
individuals that were
remember
not
what time it
aligned with
was,
the
but
group.
I know it
They were
was
people
late.
who were out
Poor
to,
awake, man.
prey upon businesses.
She does
And
double duty sometimes.
our officers' actions were able to make to identify those individuals and make a number of arrests. Last night, just under 700 arrests. And within those 700 arrests were 70 individuals who were either burglarizing or looting, victimizing businesses further. So what that tells me is that two things. We didn't have protests last night. We had criminal acts. We had people mourning the death of this man, George Floyd. We had people capitalizing. His death is on their hands as much as it is those officers. And that is a strong statement.
Boy, that is a
But I
strong
must say
statement.
that this civil unrest that we're in the midst of, we must turn a corner from people who were.
I think that was a little wrong to say there,
People
Chiefy.
who are involved in preying upon others. The actions last night, I am encouraged for Los Angeles. I was discouraged for Santa Monica and Long Beach. This morning was a bright morning. It started well. A protest.
You know, I agree the looting is wrong. It should not happen. The buyers, the property damage, no, it should not happen. But in the context of what he just said is not right, because property can be replaced. A person's life can't be replaced. So to equivalate somebody breaking into a building and looting it to a person's death is not, in my opinion, the right way to go. I think saying he's degrading the man's name would be more appropriate, but to compare them, no, I don't think that's right. Property can be replaced, a person's life can't.
When you go on the freeway, you jeopardize not only yourselves, but the lives of so many others. And as they're back on the streets, we will be interacting with that crowd, that protest, and that protest is now unlawful. The actions of endangering others creates an unsafe circumstance that just doesn't be simply turned on or off. In Hollywood, we have three groups in various parts of Hollywood that are protesting, and largely peaceful.
Yeah, I saw that, Joanne. I saw that today on CNN. His brother pleading for peace. I thought that was pretty cool. What I thought was really stunning was when the Minneapolis police chief, I think it was, took his hat off as he addressed the brother and stuff on CNN and talked to them with the utmost respect to him. I was really moved by that. I thought that was probably one of the most coolest experiences, I think, of all of this and in my lifetime. I've never seen somebody do that. But that police chief really treated the brother with the, like I can't even put in the words.
With them, not to them. Nor were we asking them to take a knee to us. But we saw each other. We had a moment, as I understand it, of communication, of recognizing. I saw that and I referenced it last Saturday on Beverly after a terrible aftermath of fire and destruction. But the group that wasn't necessarily the largest group, not involved with that, just wanted to be heard. And they wanted to hear that we were willing to do
right.
That. And once that happened,
right. You know, I mean, if you remember, you probably guys have been around as long, long enough to remember the Million Man March back in the day. I mean, people do voices if you come together. See, what's happened in America is people have really lost in the past the ability to protest and demonstrate. They really never did that much after the 60s and 70s. So they really are disorganized coming into the new millennium. And so, but if they could organize better and keep their voice heard and stay away from the violence, I think they could get the change they want. But I think by causing the violence, you're kind of stepping on your own message, I guess would be the right way to put it.
Recognizing and acknowledging the failures of our past. But as we move forward, we must assure.
Oh yeah, Joanne, I did hear about that too. I read that. Yeah, there were 18 previous complaints. Yeah, I read that.
The presence of the National Guard, the Safer at Home Directive, and now the curfew, and the mobilization of LAPD are control factions to restore that. But I'll last close with what my remarks were this morning in another media engagement. And that is to the
Oh, I know, right?
I mean, join with us.
Lori, if you remember that when they marched all the way up there to the Washington Monument or whatever that was, and they just filled that whole area, I mean, as far as you can see with people and stuff, man. I mean, that's the way you do this, man. That's what promotes change right there. And we did make a fundamental culture change kind of after that, you know, not like they all wanted, but sort of.
Tonight, as I close, I wish us a safe night. And I thank the men and women of LAPD and LA Fire and all of our first responders for their sacrifice, their dedication, their valor. I was able, and I will announce, to meet with and see the release of a young officer whose skull was fractured Saturday night during one of these protests that turned violent. After metal plates and stitches and staples, by the grace of God and the power of surgery and medicine, he was able to survive those injuries and is now resting safely at home. I'm thankful for his survival. I'm grateful for his service, as I am to every member of this organization of LAPD. Thank you.
Exactly, Joanne. You know, that exactly. I mean,
The men and women of Los Angeles City
I'm one of
Fire
the
Department
founding members,
protect
participated
lives,
in putting Seattle Hemp Fest together, and it was,
We've been able to
you know,
respond to hundreds
cannabis
of fire
movement. And
medical
every
calls
year we
to
had this
protest
festival.
areas.
Cannabis was
The past
illegal.
4 days,
We still smoked and did it in this park in an organized way. We enforced our own event. We did our own thing.
We've also sent firefighters.
Never had a problem. And then we eventually got it legalized. So, I mean, yeah, if you do it in the right way, your voice can get heard. Absolutely.
And we're prepared to continue that support as needed. And we have done so without incurring any firefighter injuries. Our firefighters also continue to support the city's only active drive-through COVID testing site at Dodger Stadium, for which we have raised the capacity to 7,700 people per day. You can schedule an appointment for testing at coronavirus.lacity.org/testing. As I said yesterday, it is critical that our firefighters and paramedics are able to respond to emergencies to do their jobs without interference from protesting crowds. We respect the right to protest peacefully, but I ask you to make the right choice. When a fire engine or ambulance is trying to get to the scene of an emergency, to answer the call for help. Seconds count when a person has a heart attack or you're with flames. Any delay of our firefighters can truly result in a life or death situation. The LAFD remains ready to protect the people of Los Angeles, and I ask everybody to abide by the 6 p.m. curfew that has been set.
Yes, ma'am. Joanne, I was born in 1960 as well. So I'm up there in the same age group.
Thank you.
But when you see my skydiving videos
As we
or
know, we're
stuff, I
fighting
don't look that
more
old
than
though.
one battle right now, one for justice and for peace in our city, but also the other with our ongoing struggle against the COVID-19 crisis, which even in these hard times has not let up. For 2 minutes, let me update you on that. Today we saw, I think as some may know, but many may have lost, the number of new cases went up under about 1,978 today, a 1.8% increase. And deaths, we had 22 more announced.
Yeah, I heard COVID virus deaths are up to 105,000 now deaths in the United States. 105,000 people have died in just a few months, man. That's wow.
People who are experiencing homelessness. have shelter in this emergency. And we have 331 isolation rooms as well. We also have sufficient hospital beds, over 1,216 ventilators available, and 100,000 N95 masks that came here that we are sharing.
Oh, wow, that's really cool, Lord. Are they expensive? You know, I mean, because I just got this new laptop. I mean, are they expensive to buy?
Spent nearly $50 million to date on these tests. And we have been doing that both at the testing centers as well as on Skid Row and with people experiencing homelessness, and in now all of our senior skilled nursing facilities. Finally, we've handed out nearly $20 million in cash assistance through Angelino cards. We've also had business ambassadors who are working hard, and through what we saw, the unrest.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get tested tomorrow, hopefully.
At thousands, now over 2,800 different businesses, and served more than 1 million meals to seniors. We also have awarded microloans to our businesses now at $1.9 million, and we'll continue to push forward with those. I hope later in the week to share with you in this moment.
What you do, Joanne, is
but to address some of the
oh
underlying
wow, that's cool. 60 beds. Wow, that's not bad. What you do is I put up like a link, and then you come on a panel up there, you know, you connect to it, and then you can talk like back and forth to like that, kind of like. I didn't know if anybody wanted to do it. I mean, if you guys want to come up and talk on it, you can. I mean, I can put it up. I just see, how do you do this? I think you do it like that.
All talking about the safety to try to restore and safety for the community. All three stress the importance
I'll put this in there. I mean, this is how you do it. And then you go and you copy on this link, and you go to this place, and you go and blah, 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 and it's kind of like, you know, it is what it is.
Medical help, you need to stay home or go home.
Kind of tricky, but not a big deal.
Coverage on how effective that curfew is. We have our reporters fanned out across Southern California, and
But that's the link right there. That's how you do it.
We want to give you a chance to make your voice heard. So please head to abc7.com to tell us why you protest. You can upload a video or picture or write us a paragraph. We want to hear you. We hope to share some of your responses on the air and online.
Also, now moving on, we have been seeing thousands of protesters gathering across the South.
And Joanne, I don't know if you know about this, but if you've got a reasonably new enough computer, you can go up in a little square box, like when you click on your, open up a clean new tab on your Chrome, and up in the right-hand corner is this little square dots. Click on that, and if you scroll down, look for Google Duo, you can actually freaking, you see, and then I just add you just like that. See? Hi, Joanne.
In the show.
Can you hear me okay?
They poured out into the street. Now, interestingly enough, and we see this with a lot of the big protests around here.
You're in there, Joanne. I see you.
Hands-off approach to this point. Riverside Police Department, as well as Riverside County Sheriff's Department and other agencies, is here in force.
I don't know if I can hear. Can you guys hear her? I can't really.
Police officers, with the exception of 15 motorbikes going by about 30 seconds ago.
I can kind of see her a little bit.
And that's by design.
She's been. Hi.
Who tells me that's what they're trying to do. They don't want to agitate. They want to allow them to protest and do so.
I can't. I don't know. I can't
Very
really
loud,
hear.
very large. We estimate close to 4,000 people out here right now. Obviously, they're in the streets. They shouldn't be doing that.
I can see her a little bit.
You can
Have their way and exercise
like
as we've been saying. I mean,
Okay, I'll show you something here. This is a quick picture of, this is me with my line here. See?
and it's really spilled out over the past
me
Hey,
so
waving, Stoneland.
people to protest. Again, the curfew though.
this is me with my
In about 10 minutes. What happens when we hit that 6 o'clock curfew?
I just wanted to test it out, but next time maybe
Very
do
peaceful
that.
protest. I asked the police department if there been any property
Be
damage
with
or
mom.
anything like that. They said only
What
one.
else? But next time maybe this.
They haven't even been able to really investigate.
Well, I can hear her on there now.
Okay. It was nice chatting.
Let's see. That's not fair. Yeah, I know. I look like bad. I got a bad hair day. See?
I can't.
Hair day.
So small. The picture's like this to me, so I can't really see anything.
I got a bad
Eye on things now. Right now, there you see
That's right.
Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
You look like yourself. It's always good to be just yourself. I had
Oh yeah.
told, so Mom,
I should be right back here.
I have meeting you, Lori.
Yeah, you see the National Guard right behind the LAPD officers, and you're talking about this. You see the National Guard out when they're deployed.
No, I look like crap today. Oh, but it's good to see you. No, I look like crap today.
And also what we've been seeing many of the sort of landmarks that need to be protected and putting up these steel barricades to keep people away. And they certainly have kept this building, this environment very safe between the LAPD officers and the National Guard right behind them. So added level of safe security there.
Uh-oh. Well, hey, you know, I've been here about an hour. I just wanted to live stream some of the police chase. So I'm probably going to hang for a minute or two. But you look great, Joanne. It's good to see you, you know. Tell your mom, you know, hello for me and stuff, you know, seriously. And
and you've got police officers who are trained in crowd control and how to work together in situations such as this, and trained not to react, not to overreact.
You too, Joanne. Good seeing you, darling. It was really nice to see you again. And give your mom my best. And hey, Lori, I'm going to get out of here too, ma'am. I just wanted to share this little stream for a minute, and I didn't want to keep it on long because I'm still working out the bugs with this, and I want to change some of the photographs and stuff. But so I'm probably going to go too, if that's okay. And I'll see you guys all again later. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out, man. I really appreciate it. I kind of nervous about all this, you know. But have a good night, ladies. All right, hugs to y'all, and thanks for hanging out with me, really. And if you see Awake later, Lori, tell her to give her my best, and I'll see her later on, okay?
Yet this unrest is unlike any other, including the LA riots. Professor Holly Sotelo says today's scenes on social media are unfiltered, inescapable, and damaging.
Even in 1992, when the civil unrest happened in South LA, today what we have is more exposure.
The response, a 5-step process called psychological first aid.
Ooh.
1,
smoke weed.
Making sure that you are listening without judgment.
We'll finish
not
this.
Interrupting them.
2, protect.
What do you need right now to feel safe?
3, connect with people who are comforting.
What would help you right now to feel connected again?
4, model calm behavior.
They are watching your tone of voice. They are watching the expressions on your face. They need to know that you are in control, even if you don't feel like you're in control. They need you to be their guide, their protector.
5, teach. How to relax, be the calm in the middle of the storm.
It is okay to protest. It is okay to express your First Amendment right, to speak up against issues that people feel are unjust. But parents also, and the older people on the streets, need to know that there are young people out there, and they're watching, and they're absorbing everything that you do. So it's important that we be
good role models to these young people. Miriam Hernandez, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Have a good night, all. Thanks. See you then. Bye.
Well, there's much more news coming up on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock. Here's Ellen Labo with a preview. Ahead at 6 o'clock, the latest on breaking news as peaceful